brought up in Bombay, and I did my schooling in from Bombay Scottish School. I went to Sydenham College of Commerce and Economics for my HSC. I finished my HSC exam here, and I applied to undergrad schools in the US. And I finally went to Michigan Ann Arbor, and I did my BBA from the business school there. After which I came back to India and I started working in the financial services industry. Um, I worked in basically wealth management and private banking, which is basically looking after the wealth of high net worth individuals. I definitely at some point knew that there was more to do and there was more that I wanted to accomplish in life, because we happen to have a family business which is a fairly substantial public listed company which is professionally run. And there was always that aim and that belief that someday I would get into doing something like that, so basically into management and leadership and things like that, which is why I decided to get an MBA. So, having done my undergraduate education in the US, I wanted a different experience this time. And of course, after the US, if there's anything that's comparable and gives a totally different experience, then it's Europe. That, and also because I did not want a 2 year MBA, because I had a 2 year BBA, and hence I wanted something that I had the flexibility of finishing it faster if I wanted to, because I knew that I wanted to join the family business after I did my MBA. So that's why I decided to apply to two schools. One was INSEAD and one was LBS. Okay, the process to apply to any school in the UK, or I mean even INSEAD, is pretty much the same as as any other college. You give your GMAT, you get your score, you take your admission forms, you apply, you write your essays. If you get shortlisted for an interview, you go for your interview, and then you get into school. I think just about anyone who wants a global experience, somebody who wants to change careers. You may be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a musician, you can be somebody in consulting that wants to get into banking. Because the good part about LBS is that it doesn't have any kind of concentration or a major kind of a requirement. So when you end up with an MBA, it's basically a generalist. It's much more concentrated on a general MBA for general managers and leaders than anything else. Biggest USP of London Business School is the London advantage. The location is, the financial capital of the world. So you do get to meet the CEOs and the higher level people of banks like Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and consulting companies. London is a beautiful city. At the same time, it also has a global platform, because there are 53 different nationalities. There were 53 different nationalities in my batch, which means that honestly speaking, you are in a totally global village as far as the school is concerned. As opposed to being in the US, where any school, the majority is Americans plus international or others. This is nothing like that. The highest number, I mean, there were British, there were Indians, there were Europeans, there were Spaniards, there were Chinese, there were everybody. So if you are looking for something where you're looking at an international career, then LBS is the place for you. To me personally, the education system in the UK was very similar to my experience in the US, in the sense that they promote discussion-based learning. I think they also had a combination of the case-based HBS cases-based study, as well as the classroom, typical classroom kind of a thing. But the most important thing in LBS is that when you join LBS, they put you in this thing called a study group. Now, it is basically a mix of about 6 or 7 odd students, from different nationalities, all different backgrounds. So you may have one person, a financial analyst, you may have a doctor, you may have a lawyer, you may have an engineer. So, I mean, they try to make it as difficult for you as possible. It sounds great, when you talk about, global diversity and things like that. But when you got to make things work and when you got to put in, get your grades, it's very difficult, and that's what it teaches you, how to get along with people with a different way of thinking, and how to make sure that you get your work done in and through your diversities. So I had a study group too, and I think if you ask me, my study group or my experience of myself in the study group taught me the most invaluable lessons in life. Today, when I am handling people and I have people reporting to me, I have got a lot of awareness of my traits and my strengths and my weaknesses as a person or as somebody trying to get something done. In the sense that if you want to put your your point across, do you become aggressive, do you become authoritative? LBS is like a free experiment. At the end of the day, you can try to you actually find your right fit. You find what you're good at and what your natural way of doing things is. So, like I said, in the beginning, it was really tough. I mean, it was really tough for everybody. Nobody got along in my study group. Because, I mean, think about it. You don't have a designated leader. You have 6 egos, bloated egos. Nobody wants to listen to anybody. Everybody has their own thought process and way of thinking. But that's the beauty, because how you kind of nurture yourself and adapt to that kind of environment. And while you may also have differences with people in the group, you should be able to work together with them and turn in your work so that you get your grades. Because the first year, most of your 30% of your grades of most of your classes depends on your study group projects. LBS has the core curriculum, so which is why they give you the array of all the courses that you gotta do in your first year. And the great part is that after that, you're free to take just about any course you want. So there is no hard and fast rule that you gotta take so many finance courses. Or yes, you gotta take your basic finance and your basic strategy and your basic economics, and the same as it was in Michigan with me. But after that, there are so many wonderful courses you can take, and with, of course, more advanced professors and people who actually, like, for example, like I had my economics. I think I had taken a course in world economics, and we had about 5 to 7 professors come and take each class, and most of them, some of them were on had taken part in Davos, some were part of the economic forum, some were part of the ECB board to kind of look at the monetary policy and things like that. Some were, so all these professors. And the one difference that I found in London Business School versus University of Michigan was that these are all young, dynamic individuals who are working with professional organizations and giving them advice or doing research for them, and they're teaching. So their views and things are changing. They're very open and they're very broad-minded, and they're always evolving their way of thinking. And even today, when I read about some of my professors and what they've accomplished with different, there was, I think I read one in one of the alumni publications that I saw. There's one professor of mine who I know, I mean, who taught me marketing, who's worked on the whole London Olympic strategy. So it's very interesting to learn from people like this. The way the courses are structured in London Business School is that you have a core curriculum, and then you have the flexibility of taking a class in a semester, so you can take it over the entire term. There are multiple ways of taking a class. So basically, London Business School, the best part about London Business School, and which is why I chose it, was the flexibility in which I could finish my MBA. You can finish it in as little as 15 months, you can take 18 months, or you can take as much as 21 months to finish your MBA. And the truth is that you may think that 15 months, oh my god, how? But it's really not that hard, because they give you this option of taking something called a block week. So you finish an entire class from beginning to the end in 1 week. So you're going through it every day, Then there is another kind of a class which you can finish, which is 1 day every week for an entire day. Usually you have a class which is half a day for, I think, once a week. So there are a lot of different options you can take. Of course, if you want to, you can't, like every school, I think they have some people may have a thesis or whatever to kind of get your degree. Here you have something called a second year project. Now that is also, I think, very different from other schools, because again it takes into a very practical way of learning. You're supposed to take a consulting with an assignment with an organization, or take up work under a professor for research, and then kind of have a group and then write about it or report on that. So you actually are doing something in the real world, which you talk about later. Also, the evaluation system, every class has its own evaluation system. Some may have, a combination of exams, group projects, weekly assignments, class participation. Almost in every class, there is a certain amount of emphasis given on that. Also, some classes you may just have papers to write. So actually, I mean, there are various, it depends on the classes you take, but it is a combination of many things. And as far as grading is concerned, LBS grades on a curve. It's got this really interesting thing called the non-disclosure policy. LBS believes that if you are good enough to get in, then you don't really need to be graded per se in terms of how you're going to do in the real world. They believe that they will give you everything you need to succeed, to get jobs, because basically people go to school to get jobs. We're not going to be giving any more exams or any more, these grades are not going to go anywhere. So they believe that you got to do what it takes to pass your classes. It's very difficult to fail unless you really make an effort. But yes, they grade on a curve. Top 10% of the class get an A plus. The balance 40%, I think, get an A. The next 40 get a B, and then it goes into a C or an F or something like that. So they make sure that they do everything so that you don't really fail a class, and you also learn from it. It was really competitive to get in, if I can be honest with you, because you are competing with, I mean, you think you got a 700 plus GMAT and you're done, but the point is that you have people who can have an 800. And also, because London Business School, takes people from professional backgrounds with about at least 4 years experience, everybody who came to that school has accomplished something in life, and hence everybody has the element of wanting to be the best. So it's not really the school, but it's like you yourself who has that spirit of competition in you, because you feel that you're in no way inferior to anybody, and why shouldn't you be the best of what you do. In terms of interacting with the professors, it's honestly up to the individual. Somebody can go to them for help, like in their office hours, just like it is in America, where they every class has they give their office hours and their timings, and you can go meet them. I think the element of interacting with a professor per se is really up to you. I mean, if you really want, there are some professors who take up people for the second year project. There are some people who get inspired by professors, and they want to build a whole business idea. Like we have an entrepreneurship class by a very famous professor called John Mullins. People actually stay the summer to work with him, to work on their business ideas. So the truth is that it really depends on you. I think in the first year, it looks to be a little difficult because you have a lot of group projects and you know course core courses. But yes, there is time, because I think there are a lot of people who are involved in many extracurricular activities. London Business School actually encourages people to go beyond just education. So we had something like a women's business club where they had all kinds of events, and we had women entrepreneurs coming to meet us, and then you have a consulting club, and you have a banking club, and you have an entrepreneurship group. I mean, I don't really know, I don't remember the terminology per se, but just about for everything there was something. We also had different cultural events and cultural clubs. Like we had something like an India Business Club, or we had even Pratham, which is the NGO. They also are active in LBS. So really, you name it and it was all there. It just depends on how much you can balance, because end of the day it's your time management that matters. What you want the most, what you want out of your MBA depends on you. So an individual can decide that no, I only want to do this and I only want to pursue. Supposing I want a career in consulting, let me get into the consulting club so I can meet all the firms that are into consulting. So it just depends on you completely. For me individually, I there was one group that I thoroughly enjoyed and took advantage of, which was this unique concept which they had called the Family Business Club. Now, London Business School is one school that promotes and encourages a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of children of entrepreneurs, into the school. And what it does is, I think it's similar to the Young President Organization concept in the world, which is basically, you have certain CEOs and presidents of companies that basically get together, form forums where you can discuss things about your family's business or the problems you're facing with like-minded people who are from different countries facing their own issues, and kind of sort out some issues you have or see how you can improve things in your business. And it was completely based on confidentiality, and of course the networking that you get, because I think I had people in my group who, I think one of them were into huge, like, mining business in I think Argentina. Somebody was in big construction in Spain. So it was really interesting. The most famous thing about London Business School in terms of sports is this event called MBAT, which is basically a big party, but it's a sports based event where the school has teams of maybe soccer, rugby, whatever, all the different games that there are. And they're held, I think, somewhere in Europe. And a bunch just get onto the Urail or into something, and you 50 100 of you go together to cheer your school in these kind of activities. I think it happens once a year, and that's, I think, the most famous thing that happens there. And of course individually, if you're into football, soccer, rugby, all the sports that Europe is promotes, then those are there for you. I think socializing in college and even in school, so there is this, interestingly, there's this pub which is really tiny, but it's almost on the premises of the school. And believe it or not, there is a small backdoor entry from our school into the pub. And a lot of our socializing events happen, like the first day, we all finish our orientation and we go to Windsor for a drink. And so the Windsor is very synonymous with London. And even today, when I think back about what I really miss about it, I miss Windsor. There are a lot of pubs around school, and because there are people older, and it's and then they have this thing called the pub crawl, where apparently a lot of people have found their roommates there, because people who are looking for apartments actually go for this pub crawl, and they kind of hook up and say, oh yeah, okay, you were looking for something, this is your budget, I can do that too. And of course it's London, you can always enjoy every part of that city. So there is a lot to do when you're in London. It all depends on the time you have. As far as part-time jobs are concerned, I did not see much of that happening, simply because people are there to, their aim is to get an internship and after which to get a full-time job. Also the curriculum and the fact that a lot of people who come into LBS already have a family or a spouse, so there are a lot of other obligations and social activities that people have to do. So I don't really think that a part-time job is one of the criteria that people have. When you talk about the campus of LBS, honestly, they don't have one. It's in the middle, in the heart of central London, on Baker Street. It is one simple little building with a garden at the back, and that's about it. And honestly speaking, that's a big contrast to my undergraduate school, which is University of Michigan, which has a huge campus where the whole town is the campus town. So when I went, the first day I walked in for orientation to London Business School, I just looked at the building. Firstly, the front of the building is nothing, like what you imagine it to be. Because on the web page, they have this beautiful English-looking structure, white dome and things like that. And I'm like, where is all that? But then, thankfully, when I went into school and I went at the back, I saw that did exist. So I was a little relieved. But another thing is, it's very interesting that our second day, our orientation, because our school is not big enough to accommodate the entire batch, we actually had our orientation at Lords, the cricket ground. So that was really cool too. Like all of us, they put up a tent there, and then we have our orientation. So therefore, there is really no space for accommodation unless you're doing an executive MBA or one of the short-term kind of courses there. But for the rest of the people, you've got to find your own accommodation. The school does have some facilities like the portal, which is the web-based platform where you can, people advertise, places that they want to rent out, and people talk about places that they want to. Then there is another thing called the pub crawl, which is again, everything in London involves, pubs. So everybody goes, I think one night everybody goes out, and then you kind of, talk to your different classmates, and you hook up with people, and then you find some people want to share a flat, 2 people want to share a flat, 3 people want to share a flat. Of course, it's London, so there are a lot of real estate agents and people who kind of help you out, depending on your budget, depending on how far from, school you want to live, and you can always find something. LBS facilitates a lot of options and opportunities for everyone to travel. Apart from the fact that they do have a semester abroad kind of concept, an exchange program, so to speak. In fact, you can, and of course, you can apply to the best schools in the world. So for people who also want that flavor of an American education, like my best friend, she actually went to Wharton for the summer abroad. You can go to Sloan, you can go to Duke, and we also had people from Wharton or American schools in LBS. So it was really interesting. Second thing is that in the curriculum, there is a class called Operations Management, where they actually take you to Amsterdam or to Porsche in Germany to kind of, learn about a certain company or the Tulip Garden or whatever it is. But actually, it's just a really good, fun trip. And traveling around, I mean, when you're in London, if you have your visa in place, traveling anywhere around Europe is just really easy. I mean, in an hour, you're in Paris, in another hour, you're in Amsterdam. I mean, it's just brilliant. You can go anywhere within England. You can, go to the north. You can go to Scotland, which is beautiful. You can go to Edinburgh for the weekend. The good thing is that we don't have school on Fridays, so you can actually take off on Thursday and come back, on Monday. I think UK is the easiest city in the world to travel in, and simply because of their, tube system and the map that they have, you can go from anywhere to anywhere literally. So I would say that as far as public transport is concerned, I don't think that I mean, there are very few cities in the world as easy as London is to get around in. You have the tube, you have the bus. Of course, black cabs are really expensive, so I would, kind of recommend staying away from them. You also have mini cabs, which are not as expensive as black cabs, and you can call them and you can get around. Because, if you're partying late at night, you don't want to use the public transport system because you may not find it safe enough. And in London, they have this concept of the Oyster card, which is like a prepaid card that you fill in a certain amount, and you can travel, within stipulated areas of London, you can travel anywhere on the tube, on the bus, at a cheaper rate than normal. I'm very proud to say that LBS is probably the most globally diversified school in this world. If you look at it, you're in London, you could be in any country, any place in the world. There is, like I said before, there is no dominant nationality. And to give you an example, my study group had, everybody was from a different country. We had somebody from Spain, we had somebody from Argentina, we had somebody from England, there was myself, and there was an American. So you can imagine how diverse this is. And what is interesting is that, you tend to learn a lot more about the nuances of different cultures, and what is the right thing to do or not in certain cultures, and it really helps you a long way in dealing with them in the future in your career. And I can't emphasize this more because, interestingly enough, today I head our international business within our company. And we are a company which is based in India, but we have offices in the US and the UK, as well as we export to many different countries in the world. And I am actually heading the business which handles the countries like the Southeast Asia, I handle Africa, I handle the Middle East. So I have to travel a lot to these countries. I have to interact a lot with people from these countries, and I definitely think that my LBS experience has taken me a long way into understanding the sensibilities of these nationalities. So what is really interesting when you talk about cultural diversity is that what you take for granted as being something that your culture accepts as the norm, you go into a classroom and you have somebody saying the exact opposite of what you think is right. So what you come out understanding is that there is really no right or wrong. It's the perspective with which you look at things and how you kind of use it to your advantage. Or there are no really right and wrong things in business, because what I realized was if I said something, there was somebody else who completely believed in the other viewpoint, and we used to have very healthy debates in class, including with the professor. In fact, we were openly encouraged to disagree or to argue or to debate with the professor. And so eventually either you are convinced or you be convinced. I mean, you convince or you be convinced. It's as simple as that. It is mandatory to have a bank account while studying in the UK, and LBS facilitates that. So it is part of the orientation. When you go into orientation, they give you the forms and they hook you up with the professionals of HSBC, I think is where they make you have your bank account. And then you have to follow it up by going and taking an appointment and getting your account set up. Okay, one thing about the UK is that everybody knows about the fact that it rains all the time and it's cold. It's not as cold and harsh as I would say the US and Michigan, from where I did my undergrad. But yes, if you gotta be prepared for it to rain anytime. You gotta be prepared for the sun to go and the clouds to come out. So I would advise that yes, you whether you want to shop here or you want to shop there is up to you. You get fantastic winter wear there. I think it's a really interesting place to kind of dress well in the winter. What I would advise is for people to actually layer up, because what happens is that outside it's cold and it's hot in class. So you have to wear something which you can take off and sit in class comfortably. There is no kind of uniform or any kind of everybody wears what they want, and I think you can wear some really nice clothes because it's London, and you can go shopping wherever and pick up whatever you like. Again, you're in the heart of central London. I cannot emphasize it enough. You can be in 15 minutes, you can be in Chinatown, you can be in, Edgware Road is like 10 minutes away, where you get the best Lebanese in the world. There are a lot of Indians there, so there are a lot of Indian restaurants. I think just about everything you like to eat or would want to eat is there in that city, and much more. It is pretty easy being vegetarian there because, like I said, you get so many different cuisines, and there are a lot of options as far as what you like to eat. To eat out depends on your taste and depends on your budget. There is a restaurant, there is food for every single budget and for every single taste. If you want to go, you have the best restaurants in the world where you pay a lot of money, or you have the economical ones, you have the fast food. But I would definitely say that yes, compared to the US, London is more expensive. I think that you would agree with me when I say that just about everybody, or predominantly most of the people that go to do the MBA, want it to get a better job, to get a higher salary, to get the job that they like. So LBS was no different from that. And even the pride of a school is, the placements it has, and which are the prestigious firms that it places students in. So LBS had the best and the creme de la creme as far as all the big consulting, all the big investment banks, it had industry, it had just about everything. Uh, Personally, for me, like I said, I was not really looking for a job, but most of my friends did, and they found jobs through the career. I think there were career development services or something like that, which was there on campus, which really concentrated on counseling, coaching people through their resumes and how to interview, and getting people, networking. The other thing about London Business School is the network, right? Because you have a lot of alumni who are working in these places, so you have a lot of people who can actually mentor you, or kind of help you network through your entire process and kind of get you a good job. I think that, honestly speaking, professionally, LBS changed my life, in the sense that it was invaluable for me to get this MBA, more so because my family business is in pharmaceuticals, and most people here have a scientific background. I, having none, cross this barrier with an MBA from a reputed school like London Business School. The credibility that comes with it is invaluable. The perception that people have of London Business School is really very good. I think it gets rated as the #1 business school in the world by the Financial Times year on year. That kind of helps. But more interestingly, I think I learned a lot as a person, as a professional myself, and things about myself. See, London Business School is again for people who want to get into general management and leadership. So, and since that was my goal, and that is what I am doing right now, it really helped me a lot. How to deal with your subordinates, how to manage people, there was this really interesting class that I took. The final class that I took was the cherry on the cake it was called Paths to Power. Now, it was a class that deconstructed power. Where does it come from? How to use it effectively? Who uses it? How? There are a lot of negative connotations when it comes to power, because nobody wants to say they actually use power. But honestly, in this world, if you want to succeed, the only way to do it is to use power effectively. And this was a class and it was really interesting, because they took us to the Westminster Abbey, where we met a member of the parliament who spoke to us about his experiences. Also, what are the different difficulties you face as you get more powerful, how seductive power can be, and how you have to always have that awareness that if you are an ambitious person, an achievement oriented person, which is what every person who goes to these kind of schools becomes, then what are the follies that you can face in the future, and how you can kind of safeguard yourself, by keeping your foot on the ground, by keeping your friends who are honest with you, and how you can succeed in your career, how you can manage to make decisions, because making decisions is the most important aspect of being in a management position, is the art of decision making. And that is something that this course really taught me a lot about. I am pretty engaged with the alumni community. A lot of us who have come back have carried some of the traditions of the school that when we were there. We had this thing called a weekly sundowners every Thursday, which was a party where everybody would get together and have beer and on the school. And so here we have an alumni. A lot of LBS students have come back here and are in different levels of leadership positions. And so we do meet once a month and kind of chat up on all those things. As for my part about the school, I have also interviewed for the school for prospective students. So that is how I keep engaging with the school. Today, I am at the position of being a general manager of the handling the international business division, as well as the entire marketing strategy for our domestic division. 5 years down the line, God willing, if everything goes according to plan, I see myself being one of India's most successful women CEOs. One very important facet that I was really looking forward to learning about was leadership, because somewhere down the line I was always aware that I am going to go back into my family business and be in some kind of a leadership position. So my aim was to be as good a leader as possible and to learn as much about leadership as possible, and that is what I think I've accomplished in London Business School. To sum it up, I would say that Michigan shaped me as a person, and LBS shaped me as a professional.